All right, we are here with Alexis Davis getting set for the UFC's return to Montreal coming up on Saturday night and the return of Alexis Davis. It's been some time since we've seen you last, Alexis.
Yeah, a little bit too long for my liking, but it feels good to be back and it feels great to be back in Canada.
Was it a case of the UFC just wanting to find the right card for you, or was it any injuries coming out of your last fight? What was for the longer stay on the sidelines than usual for you?
I think it was more scheduling. I wanted to. I remember seeing, them afterwards, and I'm like, put me on as soon as I can. I was hoping to fight, at least before the end of the year, but, the scheduling and bout problems, but everything happens for a reason, I guess.
For some of the Canadian fighters, does it become like they really want you on Canadian cards? And does that, because I know some fighters, they get frustrated because they're fine to fight wherever in the world and not necessarily in Canada where they're not running every single week.
It is, for me, I'd fight anywhere. It'd be cool to go to Australia or something like that, but there's something different about fighting in Canada. Actually, for me, it doesn't really even matter whether it's Winnipeg or it's in Montreal or Toronto. It all kind of feels like you're coming back home.
When you went through all of the media attention for the Ronda fight, does that make kind of a fight week like this is just second nature to you, doing all of these interviews as compared to maybe fight number one in the UFC?
Now it's easy.
You're a pro at this now.
I'm like, this is nothing compared to last time. But I think it's all just the experience of it all. It just becomes easier and easier with every time.
Did it become too much ahead of the Ronda fight? I'm sure you answered questions a million times over, and I know we try to be as creative with our questions as possible, but sometimes very tough when you're in that main event focus. Everyone wants to speak with you.
Yeah, it kind of gets a little bit repetitive after a while, but you do have a few people here and there that are, a little bit more inventive with their questions, but it's always those main questions that people want to know. It's usually like, what do you think of your opponent, and what's your game?
Who's gonna win the fight?
But it just comes with the territory. Everybody's writing an article or doing it for TV or something, so you just get used to it.
With the nature of how the fight went with Ronda, was it something were you able to just move on quickly, or was it something that did linger with you for quite a while afterwards?
For me, obviously heartbreaking, and even watching, like I was saying, like watching Kat's fight, I really felt for her. But I feel like any loss is hard. It's just how you're going to take it. Are you going to use that to kind of motivate you and to push you to train even harder, to get back into the gym, or are you going to kind of dwell on it and have a little pity party? But for me, I took a little bit of time off, not any more time than I would usually take after a fight. Went home, went back to San Jose, spent time with my family there. Then I always go back to Canada and try not to eat too much when I go home to see my parents. But then I was back in the gym. I didn't really take a break. I've been training this whole time and kind of going over a lot of my old footage, and it was kind of like I was going to face myself, because it was a chance for me to study myself and work on the things that I need to work on, which fighting back-to-back, you don't necessarily get.
When you got the call that Sarah Kaufman was going to be the next opponent, what was your reaction? Sarah, she said it took her a bit to kind of get into this, having fought you twice. I mean, did you have the same reaction, or was it just anyone you were happy to fight?
Really, to be honest, it was kind of like anyone. I've been out of the octagon for so long that, it took me totally by surprise to fight Sarah, but, kind of got to look at the silver lining. This is going to be a great opportunity to me. Sarah's like she's a high-level ranked fighter. She's a tough opponent. She's ranked in the top 5. And, obviously coming off of a loss on this, I get a chance to get my revenge. So this is great for me. And I've kind of used that, my last fight against Ronda, to help push me and motivate me that, it doesn't matter who they put in front of me, I'm going to be looking for that win.
You mentioned San Jose, which is where WrestleMania recently was. Did you get to see Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania?
No, I didn't go, but oh my God, the whole place was packed there. I did see like the clips that they showed afterwards, but yeah, oh my God, you should have seen the amount of people all dressed up and everything.
Wrestling fans are nuts.
Yeah, walking through, I seen so many Hulk Hogans. I don't think I've ever seen so many in my life.
It's amazing. Some on purpose, some that just happen to look like that with the receding hairline. Let's just finish chatting about the card. This has been a roller coaster of a card. People falling off. Quinton Jackson off. Now he's back on. Just as a fan of the sport, having Quinton Jackson on the card, what does this mean to you, if anything?
For me, it's great because I want to make sure I get a good seat, get to watch the fight. That's more anything. It's I can't wait to actually, because I've never seen him live. So it's a great opportunity for me. I'm just a big fan.
And your thoughts just on Demetrius Johnson and his performances thus far. He's someone that really is under the microscope from a lot of people when he's put into these headliner positions, which is something now that you probably can sympathize with, having all of that on your shoulders going into a major UFC pay-per-view event.
Yeah, I don't know why he runs so far under the radar. He's obviously a very talented fighter, and I look forward to watching him. Just his level of technique is amazing. So, I just really think he just doesn't get the attention that he deserves. He's a little bit like me and doesn't promote himself as much as he should.
Do you think sometimes as well, I think, so much thought is put into it, but it's like sometimes you click or you don't click with people, and it's just, certain things where great fighters are sometimes not always the most popular fighters, but that's not a discredit to their talent at all.
No, but it happens all the time. We watch it countless times over and over again. It doesn't matter, but some people are just, better at putting themselves out there, and it's people everywhere in the world. You're always going to have those people that you're going to kind of remember who kind of have that loud, like, flamboyant personality, and then there's us guys. We're just kind of look quiet. We're kind of watching things.
Spoken from a true media pro here. Alexis Davis taking on Sarah Kaufman Saturday night at UFC 186 at the Bell Center in Montreal. Tune in and catch the fight.